Joey Logano doubles down at Watkins Glen International. And why is Watkins Glen International number one in the hearts of NASCAR race fans? A talk with father-son racers Cliff and Kyle Pierce, racing action from Thunder Mountain Speedway, all that and more on this edition of The Race Report. Hi everyone and welcome to another edition of The Race Report. I'm Ron Hills. Joey Logano had never won at Watkins Glen International before. In fact, he'd never won on a road course anywhere. So his convincing win in Saturday's NASCAR Xfinity Zippo 200 was a career milestone for the Team Penske driver. Saturday's win must have been a confidence builder for Logano because on Sunday he put himself in position to strike when Kevin Harvick's fuel supply ended 2 turns short. Saturday night's racing action at Thunder Mountain Speedway started out with makeup races for the rookie sportsman in 4 cylinders. Cody Bishop and Isaiah Forward were winners. In XL 600 modified racing, it was Johnson City's Joe McCabe picking up his first win of the season. In street stock action, Steven Deinhardt did his best to reel in the leader, but not this week. Leon Andrus and Brett Deo call the action.
Out of the turn they come. Green is out. Shane Wolf Jr.
Out of turn 2, 3 wide. Middle of the pack, Deinhardt trying to squirt his way through, and that 73 gets inside of the logger, Earl Zimmer. Matt Spencer will take him out of turn number 4 and lead lap 1.
Got a lot of cars battling for position here mid-pack as the 19 of Kevin Garland battling with Levi Davis, but out front it's Matt Spencer in that number 9 machine.
Matt Spencer, the Binghamton driver, Levi Davis getting crossed up, gathers it back, right in the caboose by the Cincinnati machine. Green flag flies, we are back underway.
Matt Spencer on the inside, Shane are up on the outside now battling for that top spot. Donnie Russell Jr. right there, 3rd. Deinhardt up on the outside, 4th. Rich Sharpstein right there in the mix, and here comes the logger, Earl Zimmer.
Shane Wolf Jr. now to the head of the class in between turns 1 and 2. Wolf out front, Spencer second. Whoa, Wolf bobble a moment out of turn 2. He gathers it back. Deinhardt way down on the bottom. This could be a turning point in this race as Wolf was bobbling for just a moment.
Spencer still your leader. Shane Wolf on the outside. Deinhardt down on the inside. Donnie Russell Jr. 4th. Earl Zimmer now trying to get by Rich Sharpstein as they motor out of the turn here on lap number 8.
Wolf knew it was time to go. He got a little bit just too high at the exit of turn 2. Now it's Deinhardt with the bobble. Wolf gets the run down the back straightaway. He's going to take it hard into turn 3.
Those two are going to exchange a little pain as they work it through the turn. Donnie Russell and Deinhardt now, they're 3 and 4. Russell doing a little leaning, Deinhardt leaning down.
Wow, what a race here, Leon, in the street stocks as Shane Wolf was able to get that number 2 spot away from Deinhardt. He'll set his sights one more time on the number 9 of Matt Spencer as we've got one car getting the black flag. That's Tommy Sabercool. Look at the battle for the lead in turn 2.
Lap traffic as they get underneath the 3Ds. Sabercool went to the pit. Levi Davis trying to excavate or implement tires, but he's going to keep her going. We'll stay green here.
Wow, battle for the lead again over there in turn number 2. Shane Wolf with the run on Matt Spencer. Deinhardt giving it all he's got in the 3 spot. Here he comes down to the inside. Spencer still holding on out front, the Binghamton driver. He won here last year on opening night. Hasn't been back to victory lane since. Wolf opens up the inside. Here comes Deinhardt one more time.
Binghamton driver won the XLs. Right now, Matt Spencer looking for back-to-back Bangmentonians to try to pull off the win here. 13 and 7 to go. Levi around. He's going to keep it going. That a boy for Levi.
Here comes Russell now, looking for the number 3 spot. Look at him take it into the turn. Donnie, Russell, Steven Deinhardt, wheel to wheel, trading paint, and Russell may move him aside.
Lap traffic coming up. Rick Sensabaugh in the RS-21 going to be there. Deinhardt back underneath Donnie Russell. Lap traffic, 2 cars coming as they go by. 6 to go.
Wow, the Sensabaugh buggy, that car's disintegrating as the race goes along. Spencer gets a piece of him. Here comes Wolf down to the inside.
Spencer's car pushed up just enough. Rick Sensabaugh's car was there. More lap traffic now. Shane Wolf Jr. He's your new leader with 5 to go.
5 laps to go for the 81 of Wolf as he gets into the race lead now. Second back there is Spencer. Third is Deinhardt. Russell still pursuing Deinhardt through turns 3 and 4 as they head down into turn 1. Then it's Sharpstein and Zimmer.
It's 3 to go. We went from 14 to 16 somehow as they work it down into turn number 3. Out of the turn they come. Parallel sticks are in the air. Shane Wolf Jr., your leader. Spencer second. Deinhardt third. Donnie Russell fourth. Rich Sharpstein fifth. There goes Spencer around.
Oh boy, this is going to change this one as we've got Spencer around in a knot between turns 1 and 2.
What a great run for Matt Spencer.
2-lap dash to the finish, green, white, checkered.
Deinhardt right there second. Donnie Russell Jr. running third. Down in through the turns. Wolf still your leader. Deinhardt trying to find a way around as they work it into 3. The white flag out this time.
It's going to be a battle, Leon, down to the finish here in this street stock feature go. Shane Wolf out front. Deinhardt working it down to the inside. Drag race out of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway for the final time.
Down into turn 3 out of 4. Black and white silks are going to fly. The win going to go to Shane Wolf. Deinhardt for 2. Russell for 3, Sharpstein for 4, Zimmer for 5, Trevor Dudley for 6.
Racing lost 2 greats this week. Both were named Rod and both started their racing career in the 1970s. Rod Hunsinger was part of the Mud Creek gang that included Kurt Tonneau and several other drivers whose names my aging brain cells don't recall. Rod died last weekend when his private plane crashed near Montrose. Rod Spaulding was one of the fan favorites at the original Shangri-La Speedway. Rod sustained near-fatal injuries in a crash at Rougemont Speedway in North Carolina in 1988. Since then, the Spaulding Foundation for Injured Drivers has helped hundreds of members of the racing community through difficult financial times. Rod passed away at his home near Troy, Pennsylvania. From the Race Report family to yours, you're in our thoughts and our prayers.
30 years of satisfied customers. That's the proud history of Brush and Pallet Auto in Candor. We have a large selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Here is this week's Car of the Week. We'll give you a $1,000 minimum trade-in, and we have financing options to fit your needs, including a first-time buyers program. Think you can't afford it? We think you can. Check us out at brush-pallet.com or visit us in person at 598 Owego Road in Candor, New York.
Satico's Catholic Shop on Endicott's Washington Avenue has offered our Catholic community the finest selection of religious gifts, holy medals, rosaries, statues, and more. Visit Satico's Catholic Shop, Washington Avenue, Endicott.
Unicorn Electronics in the Valley Plaza, Johnson City has the best pricing and selection of audio, video, and computer cables in the area. Don't spend a fortune on that HDMI cable for your new HD TV or Blu-ray player. Unicorn Electronics has quality cables in the lengths you need at a price you can afford. Expanding your network? Unicorn has the patch cables and accessories to make it happen. When you need to connect, think Unicorn Electronics in the Valley Plaza, Johnson City.
Outdated alert! Outdated alert!
Pick me! Pick me!
We don't badmouth the competition.
Huh?
We just beat them in price, quality, and customer service. Hi, this is Craig Moss with KRM Foundation Repair. If you got water in the basements, cracked or flaking foundations, foundation walls that are falling in, call us for a free estimate today. We're KRM Foundation Repair. Good as any, better than some.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we're down here at Chubby Sports Bar in Johnson City, New York. I have the opportunity to speak with the Pierces tonight, Cliff and Kyle. First up is Cliff Pierce, who goes back quite a ways in my memory bank. I remember, Cliff, when you first started racing dwarf cars at the Thunder Mountain Speedway. Tell us a little bit about that.
That was a great opportunity. First time I ever saw them, we went to Skyline, and we saw the dwarf cars there, and I thought, well, this is my chance to have a 32 Ford Coupe. So I went out and bought one from Nick DiOrio. We got an engine in it. I was racing motocross at the time. We ended up trading my motocross bike for a engine, and from there it was history. It was a great class. It was a lot of fun. It was a shame when the field started to die off and we didn't have the car counts, but what a wonderful experience it was.
Yeah, and basically, for the people that don't know, the dwarf car basically dwarfed into what they call mod lights up in central New York. The rules got opened up a little bit more, and they sort of dwarfed that off, and the dwarf car actually left this area. Then you basically got into four-cylinder modifieds from there, right?
Yes, I did. That was a great opportunity, too. I got to race with my three brothers, which was always interesting. I made sure that I avoided my dad's garage on Saturdays. I always made sure I had my car done ahead of time, because it was always interesting at the garage on Saturdays. There's some heated discussions and things, but overall it was a great opportunity to do something with my brothers.
So after that, tell us a little bit what happened with your racing career.
From there, I went into racing sportsman. I ran Thunder Mountain for 3 years, had a great time with that. Then we decided, I was starting to look towards something that my son could get involved with, and we actually traded my sportsman for another slingshot. And we ran Starlight Speedway for a few years with the slingshots, and it was a great opportunity for Kyle. It was kind of funny, his very first race in a slingshot, he started dead last. It was a week when my wife couldn't make it because my wife was racing too. And we had a little spin out. Another guy and I got together, and we went to the back, and I look over, and here goes this little guy that, we had to put foam mug plugs in the car so he could sit up and see. And here he goes by leading, and waving at us, and he went on to win the race. It was really a pretty cool experience.
Well, that's good. Then, like I said, you ran some sportsmen. Did you race the modified too?
I did not, no. I did go from, when we got done racing the slingshots, I started racing the IMCA modifieds, and I ran 5 Mile Point. That was an interesting class. They were probably the hardest car that I've ever had the opportunity to drive. We ended up winning the championship there in 2009, and from there I actually traded that car to get my son involved into racing 600 microsprints.
So now basically Kyle running the sportsman at 5 Mile, the crate division. Well, he's in the open. They run with that crate bonus down there at 5 Mile. Now you're basically crew chief, I'm assuming, right?
I am. I'm learning a lot. This year's been a big learning experience. Back when I was racing sportsman, I didn't seem to have as many mechanical failures as we've had this year. We've had transmission that broke. We've had a rear end that broke, so we've had to replace those. We chased an engine problem for 9 weeks before we finally found it, and now the car's actually running pretty well, so we're pretty pleased.
So I was going to lead into my next question. How do you think Kyle has progressed through his career now with the sportsman? How do you think he's doing?
I think he's done a great job. I honestly think that he's a better driver than I ever, dreamed of being. You watch, he's very smooth, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I think, he's going to have a bright future in racing ahead of him.
Okay, now that would lead me to now when you were racing, obviously he was watching you as you were growing up to get you interested in racing per se. Who was your hero growing up?
Actually, I spent just about every Saturday night at the old Shangri-La Speedway, and I loved watching George Kent race. And I watched George go to the outside, and other guys wouldn't be doing what he would do there. And I had an uncle that would bring me there every week. It was kind of a funny story. We'd watch in intermission. We'd go out and listen to the Yankee baseball game because he was a big Yankee fan, and I was at the time also, and then come back in and watch the races.
That's a great story, and like I said, George Kent certainly could light it up on the outside at Shangri-La. There's no question about that. Do you think you'll ever get back into racing, or does it bother you that you're not racing?
It's funny. Over the winter and early spring, I really wanted to get another car, and we decided that I'd be better off doing this right now. At the moment, I'm really content, really helping him get better and watching him progress. Yes, I'd like to drive again someday, but for now, I'm pretty content with what I'm doing.
When he gets that first Sportsman win, you're probably going to be happier than any of the wins you ever had.
I'm sure I will. I'll probably have a nice tear in my eye, I'm sure.
Okay, well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Cliff, and glad you were here with us.
All right, great. Thank you very much.
We're down here at Chubby Sports Bar, Johnson City, New York. Have the great privilege to talk with Kyle Pierce, who drives the number 9 at the 5 Mile Point Speedway in the Sportsman Division. Basically, it's an open Sportsman Division at 5 Mile. You run with a crate car, so you get a crate bonus. So before we get into that, tell the viewers out there how you basically got started in racing.
I grew up watching my dad at Thunder Mountain in the Dorf cars when I was a little Schaefer, and watched him go through the 4-cylinder modifieds and into the Sportsman. And around 2003 area, I started racing quarter midgets, and then from there, we raced those for 4 years. Then we went into the Tobias Slingshots for a couple years. And then we got into the Kitty Cat 4-cylinder division at 5 Mile Point, and we ran there for a year. Well, my dad raced the IMCAs for 2 years. And then we moved from the Kitty Cats into a 270 micro sprint. And then after that, we ran that for a year. We had quite a bit of problems blowing the motors multiple times. And then we went into the 600 micros and ran them for the last 5 years, and now we moved into the Crate Sportsman.
The Crate Sportsman. So in that time frame, roughly, I don't know if you kept track, how many wins would you say you've had roughly over that time frame?
Pretty close to 70. I believe I'm at 69 right now.
That's pretty impressive. So I'm sure you're looking forward to that first one in the Sportsman, which leads me down. Now this is the first time you're in the full-size race car per se. How do you think you're progressing so far?
I've learned a ton this year on how to drive a car that's really pushing, how to drive a car that's a lot heavier than what I've been used to. They're about 3 times heavier than the micros that we've been running. So I've learned a lot about driving and throttle control, and really how far to pitch the car sideways and how much that affects how it will roll through the corner and all of that.
Well, like I said, now obviously your dad, your crew chief. Now, just before you go out on the track, does he give you a lot of pointers on what you should do, or he pretty much tell you this is it? You go out there and do your best, and
yeah, we'll look at the track. Him and then my uncle Mike Austin, who also races in the Sportsman at 5 Mile. We'll all look at the track together and try to see how it's going to play out, and he'll tell me what he thinks will work, and I'll tell him what I'll think will work. And when we're sitting on the line, he'll pretty much leave me to do it myself, and he'll just wish me luck and tell me that just hold my line and always smile because you're having fun doing what you love.
Right. And this basically your first full season in the Sportsman division. Obviously, with the crate, you're a little bit underpowered. Yep. Do you feel like that's a big hindrance to you now, or are you using the time to get the actual seat time to learn how to handle the car?
Yeah, we're just really focused on seat time this year. Our main goal, we want to get out. If we could, finish top 10 in points. If not, it really wasn't a big deal. We're running a 2000 Olsen, so we're running older stuff, but we're basically all we want to do is get a lot of seat time, get a lot of learning in for the year, and so far we've done that. So
well, and that's a big part of the racing. There's no question. You gotta if you can't get the car down to the ground, get the power to the track, it's a tough deal. So it's a good time. You can have the biggest motor in the world. If you're not getting it to the track, it doesn't make a difference. So that's a good way to go through it. Speaking of which, tell the people out there, like, who sponsors you and who's all your help? Besides your dad, you must have other help.
Yep. Our crew really consists of my dad, my Uncle Mike, Bill Leonard. He's been there with my Uncle Mike and my dad since around 2003. They're the biggest help. Then I got my friend Zach Holmes. He's there whenever he can to lend a hand and whatever we need. Sponsor-wise, we have Garth Fabrication and Trucking out of Canada, New York. They've been building bodies for us for many years now, and whenever we need anything, they're there to help. And the last 4 years, I've had Da Vinci's Family Restaurant in Spencer, New York on board with us. So that's our sponsors for now. And Rich Powell's did our lettering this year, made the car really sparkle with purple. And
How do you get a sponsor like the restaurant that's in Central New York? How do you land that sponsor?
Well, the owner did some concrete work at our house. And from there, a couple years later, I went in and I talked to her and I asked her if she wanted to really kind of help us out a little bit, and we'll do some promotional stuff for her. We'll get the name on the car. We'll go and we will go do sit-outs where we sit outside the restaurant with the car and have people come in and all of that. So
That's good. Like I said, that's what sponsors want to see. It's not always about results. It's about exposure. That's what the sponsor wants. They want exposure. So now, obviously, the first year in Sportsman, I know you've had some mechanical setbacks after talking to your dad. And I believe you were telling me your best finish so far is a 4th. But when you started the season, what was your basic goal?
My basic goal, I really just wanted to try to finish races, really just not wreck up the car, try to keep everything straight. And if we get a top 5 every now and then, that's great. But as long as we're learning and having fun, then that's all that really mattered to me for the year.
That's a great attitude to have because, like I said, you certainly got to learn first and stay competitive and, stay with it and stay out of people's way as you're learning, and they give you a lot of respect for that. The other drivers will too. So, and I guess my last question would be is, what do you see your future in racing is going to be?
I hope to be doing this as long as I can possibly think ahead in the future. Where it really will lead, I'm not sure. As long as I'm around family and we're getting to able to go fast, and that's all right with me. Really, the biggest reason I want to get into the Sportsman out of the micros, because I wanted to have a chance to run with my uncle and try to keep it more of a family-based thing. Because we have a lot of family support. We have my mom and my sister. They're always at the track. They're supporting us, and we're getting to park next to my uncle and race with him and get input from him because he's been doing it pretty long time now, and so it's all a big family thing, and that's the best part about it.
Yeah, and that's great. And like I said, knowing Mike Austin, another nice guy. Every time I get to see him watch, he's one of my favorites to watch because he'll run anybody that I've ever seen race clean, and he's just one of the nice guys. So, before we end it, is there anything you want to mention to the people out there about your racing? Anything you can think of you might want to talk about?
We're always open to marketing partners. If you do want to do something like we have with the restaurant where we do bring the car out, and we're always open to those type of things. For any little kids that ever think that they really can get into the sport and just progress, just make sure you have fun. That's the main goal. If you're having fun, then that's really all that should matter. It's not really about wins or losses. As long as you get to have fun and you get to do it with the people that you love, that's all that really matters.
Okay, it was great. I was glad to talk to Pierce's Kyle, his dad Cliff. Again, his race report here at Chubby Sports Bar. We'll go after our commercial. We'll be back with Ron.
For 3 generations, we've been building world-class American performance.
Like the new Edelbrock Power Package Top End Kit, based on Edelbrock's powerful RPM crate engines. Each kit includes aluminum heads and intake, cam and lifters, gaskets, and hardware to build your own 400-plus horsepower Chevy small block. For 3 generations, it's pure American performance from the leader. Call now for your free Edelbrock catalog.
Edelbrock makes them right here in the USA.
98.1 The Hawk, number 1 for 20 in a row.
This is Luke Bryan.
This is Eric Church.
This is Tim McGraw.
Binghamton's hot new country. 98.1 The Hawk.
30 years of satisfied customers. That's the proud history of Brush and Pallet Auto in Candor. We have a large selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Here is this week's Car of the Week. We'll give you a $1,000 minimum trade-in, and we have financing options to fit your needs, including a first-time buyers program. Think you can't afford it? We think you can. Check us out at brush-pallet.com or visit us in person at 598 Owego Road in Candor, New York.
Welcome back to the Race Report, to open sportsman action where Eric Wheat scored the win. Nick Roshinsky led the modified feature from green to checkered. In 602 sportsman action, Pat Jordan led from the drop of the green.
Jordan, your leader, coming up on lap traffic. Parallel sticks are in the air here. They take it through the turn. Voorhis out in front of Jordan. Jordan down to the inside, trying to get by without being scathed. He's going to get by. White flag is out one more time around.
Nady definitely closed some ground here in the final laps, but time will wind down before he can get that machine to the head of the class. Jordan down the back straightaway for the final time.
The win going to go to Pat Jordan. Brian Mady for second. Third is Isaiah Forward. Shane Spoonhour is fourth. Dustin Jordan fifth. Adam Hilton sixth. Dan Pease seventh. Dave Doig Jr. eighth.
The rookie sportsman win went to Kinzer Hill, while the four-cylinder feature was won by Doug O'Hara. For all of us at the Race Report, thanks for watching. Until next week, I'm Ron Hills, and I'll see you at the races.
O'Hara checking out on the field now in that Pote 91 machine. Robinson and Robinson trying to give Chase Underwood back there fourth. Got to get by the CJ Whelan 12R machine.
Whelan able to keep it down on the inside that time. O'Hara goes even lower, ducks down to the bottom in turn 2. Down the backstretch he goes. It's going to be 2 laps to go.
Parallel sticks are out. Robinson and Underwood. They run 2, 3, and 4. White flag out for O'Hara. Gabe Forward going around. Oh my. Trying to keep her going, and it looks like he's going to set there. Going to be checker caution probably. Checker, just checker. O'Hara wins.